Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. The second CDL major of the season in Minnesota begins tomorrow, with OpTic Texas going in as favourites to retain their crown. Shotzzy believes that Desert Siege Search and Destroy might well be their best Search and Destroy right now, but Rambo saves him before he gives away too many secrets. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy the video. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Really upset the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. It's going to be a fantastic weekend. Scump's getting out there. All the teams flew out pretty much like yesterday effectively, so by today they're getting associated, they're getting acquainted with the venue, the casino, as we'll look at later today a little bit as well. With Major 2 getting underway, Fantasy is back on the breaking point front. You guys can sign up for this one. Cash prizes are back in business as well. Effectively you've got $25 to pick your team of 4. This honestly is way harder this time than I thought it was before, because the pricings are really challenging, and also there's a multiplier. So last time we noticed that Awakening I think was the best performer because he dropped like a 1.4, but they lost the series and got first rounded. Now this time, there's going to be a multiplier per placement. So if you place top 12, like their entire fantasy score gets multiplied by 0.7. So you have to think about which teams are going to place well, which players are going to place well, but therefore the players have also been priced appropriately so that if teams are expected to do well, you have to pay more anyway, even if their raw numbers theoretically aren't going to be that great. So it's honestly really tough. This is the team I went for. Dashy, kind of like a staple, should get decent numbers. Neptune I thought was a decent go for 6. I think they can make some sort of run this tourney through the lower bracket. I'm not sure they're going to beat FaZe, but I don't know, like I think they can make a run through losers. Then Cammy at 4 and Temp at 5. I was kind of concerned about this, right? Because if either of these teams get first rounded, the multiplier is going to absolutely destroy my numbers. But if either of these teams make a bit of a run, I can see them putting up decent numbers for this price. But it's honestly tough. Like you can't pick star-studded teams with this. But get involved. If you pick the best one, cash prize on offer, all that good stuff. Just to mention this, I thought was pretty cool as well. The top performer of the stage, or the Major 2 qualifiers, was none other than Anthony Methods. And I thought it was really cool the way this breaks down actually, like the scoring multipliers work to get in the number. There's some bonuses as well here as well. But yeah, basically if you want to win, you got to pick the player that's kind of underpriced, but is going to absolutely show up this event. Link down below, all that type of good stuff. Major 2 update then for the Minnesota Rokkr. So all general admission tickets for Friday, Saturday and Sunday are now completely sold out. VIP and general admission tickets still available for Thursday, Friday. I think they might have actually done something for like Rokkr fans to make sure they've got enough Rokkr fans in the venue and stuff. So it's going to be a great weekend, I'm sure. Minnesota honestly have done a fantastic job with the fan base they've built locally and actually putting on this event. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. They've been killing it on that front of things lately. And also this is certainly part of it. A trophy fit for a champion. It's been a long time, to be honest, since we've actually had a trophy for the winners of these events. And Rokkr say, basically it's honestly really cool because this kind of goes into their whole culture and theme, right? Like they've got effectively a shield, like a Viking type Nordic-esque shield for the champions. Really cool. I actually really like this idea. Some people are complaining that it doesn't look as good as maybe it might do, but still, I don't care about that. At the end of the day, it's a trophy for the event that the CDL for some reason doesn't want to pay for. The organisation that's running the tourney has to put on themselves. I thought this is fantastic, right? It could be start of something where there's kind of like themed trophies per event that teams do. I think it's a really cool idea, and the winner is going to get this one. Ask some questions about exactly whether Hex, if they win it, is he going to rebrand it, right? Is he going to paint it green or something? I thought it was kind of funny here for the TacticalRab Academy. But there also was some questions about the OpTic tournament, right? Why was there not a trophy there? And maybe they just didn't get round to it or something, dealing with it before the tourney began, because as Hitch said, no but one is getting made for the champions. It would have been good if OpTic at their own event could have lifted their own trophy that they came up with, but I'm not really sure why the CDL doesn't come up with this stuff, to be honest. And also you've got to think that maybe an MVP trophy that there used to be would be a good idea as well. No, I'm not really sure why the CDL just says, no lads, we're not paying for that stuff, you can deal with it. But maybe something to think about, right? It's good we actually have a trophy back for this event. It was always cool when there's a trophy sitting there on the stage between the teams during the grand finals and they have to fight over it. I thought that's always a nice addition. That's kind of been lacking for the most recent events, to be honest, since the CDL era. One player that is heading out to Minnesota, though, is none other than Clayster, headed to Minnesota tomorrow to time to scheme, he says. So he's out there, and potentially he's looking to make an opportunity happen, right? This is the thing. This is the way that kind of Rostermania stuff is done. You go out to an event like this, the teams that lose early on, Clayster's sitting there at the bar, I don't know, Los Angeles Guerrillas come in or something, you have a word with them, you chat to them, you say, tough weekend, lads, maybe you have a few pints or whatever, and all of a sudden you're talking about, okay, maybe Clayster could be an option for this team. That's how it works. Clayster's one of the master schemers in COD history. I'm sure he can make something happen, but I guess that's his plan, right? In order to get back on a team, he needs to get out there to the venue, speak to the guys, and try and finesse something or other during this pretty crazy roster period that could happen, right? Who knows, he had some words with Attach, he says, maybe MajorManiak's not looking so good, who knows what he gets up to, but I thought it was pretty cool regardless just to see that in action. But Scump and of course the boys are out there as well. So OpTic flying out to Minneapolis. They're in business, as are, of course, the rest of the teams and players as well. But going into this weekend, there's a big question about, okay, like, is OpTic's map pool ready to, well, take on a team like FaZe, I guess, if they do get to a grand finals? Because OpTic are pretty confident they'll get to the grand finals. Whether they'll be able to go all the way through the winners brackets, that's a tough question, just because, I mean, look, they're probably going to play FaZe second round unless New York upset FaZe in the winners round 1, at which point that's going to be like a 14 win streak for OpTic if they win that one. If they then win the winners finals, that's a 15 win streak. Like, the win streak they'll have to go on here to win would be pretty absurd. But, I mean, still, it might be possible, right? OpTic's certainly a team that is capable of that. But Desert Siege was a map where they got absolutely bodied up against Los Angeles Thieves, you guys might remember, 6-0, their very first match of this stage. And, yeah, at this point, they were like, okay, well, we kind of threw this in and the Berlin hardpoints so that we could just get some more practice on these maps to prepare us for the major, right? To make sure that when we do get to a best-of-9 grand finals, if that's the case again against a team like FaZe, we have the strength in depth across all the maps to actually play and beat them in a series like this. Now, since this loss, they've seemingly worked on their Desert Siege a fair bit. They take down Los Angeles Guerrillas on that very map a couple of days ago, clearly working on some things to improve on this map, and seemingly they're looking very confident on this one as well. Shotzzy reckons he was on the flank a couple of days ago, effectively saying, and this is another example of this map being played here between Ultra and the New York subliners, but Shotzzy was like, look, we're really confident in our search and destroy on Desert Siege, telling Asim, no, it doesn't matter if you had a substitute or what, even if Gunless was there in that series, we'd have bodied you anyway. And then he goes on to say, actually, no, like, I'm going to say it is our worst map, it's our worst map, there's nothing going on here, because I imagine they've probably got some secrets in the works and something prepared in terms of strategies and stuff for a situation where it goes game 9 in the grand finals against FaZe and it's a Desert Siege. They have some ideas like to bring to the table, just like they did on Berlin, the kind of wallbang spot that won in the stage 1 major. Maybe they have something else planned. But oh well, before Shotzzy can reveal and leak anything else, Rambo comes in to save the day.
Rambo, you're in the chat, bro. You gotta get your man.
Hey, Rambo, go get your mains. Go get your mains, Rambo. Hey, you know.
Rondo.
Shout out to Rambo Ray as well in the chat. Shout out to Rambo Ray.
Hey,
at least we won Desert though. I think we're what, 1 and 3
That doesn't
now?
count though. Like that doesn't count.
Nah. We're winning that regardless, bro. Trust.
Oh, okay.
Trust.
Yes,
No, Desert's our best map. No cap. Even though we're 1 and 3.
dropped 11 and 3 map 5 against LA the day before that. On desert.
All right,
We lost out on our hard carry, bro.
no, honestly, you know what? Nah, Desert's our worst map. Plays on it.
Oh, I like that.
Yo, Rambo, Ray, come get your player, bro. Come get your player.
I'm here to pick up my mans. Hey, come on.
That was funny. Yo, Ray, I was setting him up. Bro.
That was a quick listening. But there you have it. OpTic, they started to bring it back. And listen, the Scump was going crazy. This guy Scump is hitting form, man.
Oh, he's LeBron. Literally.
Dude, he's literally LeBron right now. Every series, he's just kicking out. This guy's got 2 minutes in Hill. This guy's dropping a triple-double right now.
So that's something I'm most excited to see this tournament, to be honest. We know that OpTic are just unbelievable on Tuscan across all modes, but it certainly has been their Berlin hardpoint and their Desert Siege Surge that don't have the greatest record so far. They now believe they've been working an awful lot on those maps. I think Berlin, to me, is the interesting one, because I haven't yet seen OpTic really show too much life on that map, to be perfectly honest. They've been playing a lot of close maps on it, but nothing that makes me think, okay, well, it's a team that they can routinely beat some of the best teams in the game on that map on. But that's what they have been preaching the last several weeks, right? Map pool. So when they get to the grand finals, they're in the best possible position, as FaZe were pretty much every single grand finals they played last year, because their map pool was just so extensive. Now, of course, one of the other key discussion points coming into this weekend is control, right? Because if you have the #1 seed, you get to effectively pick what control map you play, which could, to be fair, have some impact, right? Let's say it comes to an OpTic versus FaZe series, because OpTic are the higher seed, they get to choose Team A, which means they get to ban their control that they don't want to play, which of course is either going to be Tuscan or Gavutu. The thing is, if you're OpTic, it's tough to know what is our best control, what is our worst control, because I thought it was funny really looking at this, the fact that on some teams, the coin flips have a major difference. Like, for example, London, they're very good at Gavutu, not particularly good at Tuscan at all. Like at FaZe, they're 7 and 2 on Tuscan and 2 and 6 on Gavutu. Even though I think aBeZy reckons their Gavutu is much better than this record implies, like you can still see that some teams, I think maybe Boston could be a decent example as well, 4 and 3 on Tuscan, 1 and 4 Gavutu. They're really bad at this map. So if you don't happen to be the higher seed, the other team can just pick your worst control and give themselves a great chance to actually win that map there. The thing is with OpTic, when you're playing them, even if you did somehow get the seeding advantage, let's say OpTic drop down to losers and you come into the grand finals against them, the team from winners will get the advantage in that situation. Even if OpTic are the #1 seed coming from losers, then like, what do you ban against OpTic, right? Obviously in that case, you'll play both controls anyway, so it doesn't matter. But like, their worst control is 9 and 1 and their best control is 5 and 0. Just absolutely ridiculous stuff. But that is the thing, it might come into to play. Like when OpTic play FaZe, they're probably going to say, look, we'll play Gavutu. And like, that's a map where obviously they've had some very close fought affairs. I think FaZe are still pretty good at that map, to be honest, given their records. But it's definitely a big thing to keep your eyes out for this weekend, because the control that is played in these series is often very crucial, and it comes a lot down to seeding, right? So London, for example, if they play anyone but OpTic, they'll be able to pick Gavutu to play, rather than having to play Tuscan that they're not too comfortable on. And that's, to me, why if we do get a London versus Boston in the winners round 2, it seems to make sense that London should be able to win that series, because they don't have to play Tuscan where they're not so comfortable. They can play Gavutu where Boston are pretty bad, and therefore take that map, at least in theory, right? So it's going to be a big talking point, I think, this weekend. This also for my EU title I thought was phenomenal, really. The current records, or the current streaks that OpTic have going into Major 2. So their series win streak is very close to the CDL records. Their map win streak is very close to the CDL record as well. Their hardpoint record, I mean, Search and Destroy, Control, of course, they currently have it. Sweeps in a row is 3. CDL record is 4 3-0 sweeps in a row. So if they 3-0 against Seattle, then they'll tie this record. Control round 5 record is 8 in a row, which is also absurd. So honestly, just ridiculous numbers. Wanted to mention this as well before we close out the video. So Chrome puts together the kind of a rookie ladder, right, going into Major 2. Thought this is pretty interesting, actually. Gizmo number 1, Capsule number 2, Nasty number 3. I put a slightly different order here to what kind of the overall, the average ended up being. But yeah, Jimbo number 9, I think it was Gravity number 8 for Paris. Then it goes to Dave Paddy number 7. I think those placings are pretty much set in stone. Then it gets to me rather interesting, because to me, I actually had Nero slightly higher than this. I think I wanted to put him above Pred and Sib, to be honest. I feel like Pred and Sib on raw talent should be higher than they are, but just looking at results, right, in the way Seattle have kind of fallen off a little bit. Pred's number 5, Sib's number 4 right here. Like, of course, there's a world in which these guys are 1 and 2, which I believe they were at a time right at the start of the season. Then it's Nasty number 3. He's actually moved down a place, which isn't what I voted for. I put him at number 2, but it was actually Capsule that gets the number 2 spot, just behind, I believe, in terms of average ranking, where Gizmo is right now at number 1. So still, that's the ranking for now. I think, honestly, a lot of this comes down to team placings. That's at least how I weigh a lot of it. Because if you're a great rookie, but also you're helping your team, like, get great results and get top 3s, top 4s, that means a lot more to me than dropping good numbers for getting top 8 every event. So very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. OpTic certainly going in as favourites. FaZe right behind them there, most certainly. Then who knows what can happen, right? Can London make a run? It's so tough to call. The teams that losers, though, they're going to have a tough time. We'll talk about LA Thieves and what they might potentially do a little bit later today. But very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit in a like button. I told you YouTube gods, it's a good video. And as like you should see it as well. And help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you as always. Take care. And I will see you next time.
I typed methods in the search bar. These are the first 2 things that come up. You people are sick. The fact that you people open up YouTube and type that in is alarming, man. It's alarming. It's alarming. The fact that you open up youtube.com and type in my tag and Alley is seriously alarming, dude. And who the is spelling it this way? A-L-L-E-Y, cat.